Beautiful people, welcome back to another video. Hello from Miami, Florida. We just deadheaded in from New York, got a nice pool view. Happy to be in Miami, happy to have a balcony. Upset that we got 2 queen beds and no king bed, but we'll make do. If you're new here, my name's Pete. I'm an airline pilot. I fly a Boeing 767, and today, start of another international trip. I think it's like my 3rd or 4th in a row, so we're getting lucky with our trips. Like I said, we just deadheaded down here, so the company pays to get me in position, and the actual flying starts tomorrow at a Miami International Airport. We're going to Bogota, Colombia. I've been there a few times, and we'll have a 33-hour layover. The next day after that layover, we fly to Medellin back to Miami with a back-end deadhead. So as far as deadhead goes, it's great. As far as the flying goes, some good, some bad. I'll dive into that here in a second. But we just landed in Miami. Like I said, it's dinner time. I'm starving. We're gonna go eat. And as always, we're gonna come along and see what it's really like to be an airline pilot. Behind the scenes, exclusive views. Let's go do it. So here's a look at the pilot schedule. Like I said, it started with the deadhead from Memphis, my base, down to Miami. I canceled that and just bought a ticket on a different airline from Newark direct to Miami, banked the points. All is good, doesn't cost me a nickel. Tomorrow, Wednesday, when I wake up, we're flying Miami to Bogota. It's about a 3.5-hour flight. I believe it's like a noon departure, so like 10 a.m. pickup from the hotel. So nice workout in the morning before we start our journey down to South America. Thursday, pretty much an entire layover, 33 hours in Bogota, so we'll do some exploring. Hopefully the weather holds up, so it's a rain, kind of be cold and chilly, but we'll see. If you've been here at these videos before, you know I like to get out, get moving and grooving and do some fun things. This flying, good. This next day flying, no bueno. Midnight 30, so 12:30 a.m. Friday alert call for like a 2 a.m. departure, which is gonna be freaking brutal. I'll mention that over and over again. To fly Bogota to Medellin, all we do is pick up cargo in Medellin, clear customs there, and then we head on to Miami. Overall, it's about a 4-hour flight, 30 minutes to Medellin, and then that same 3.5 hours pretty much to Miami. We land around like 7 a.m. Absolutely freaking brutal flying all night, so I'm gonna do my best to manage my sleep and get some sleep on Thursday super early. And then we have a company provided hotel for Friday when we land, about 12 hours in Miami before they book us our deadhead back to base. I've already canceled that flight though, and I already booked myself a ticket back to New York. I think I'm going to Newark, just again racking up the points as best I can, and I'll get home kind of earlier than the scheduled deadhead. Block, meaning how many hours I'm going to be flying the airplane, 7.3, pay 23.1. And I get asked, well, don't you only get paid when you flying? Yes and no. The answer is there's minimum days that were guaranteed a certain amount of hours plus the deadheads we get paid for. So that's why you see such a discrepancy, block versus pay. And that's like the airline pilot goal, is to fly less physically but get paid more. So ideally you want your block to be 0 hours and your pay to be 100 hours. Now that's not really possible, but with things like picking up premium trips, deadheads like I had mentioned, RFOing, if you've watched other videos, I'll be the crew member kind of deadheading around the world, picking up airplanes, just relief first officer here and there. So there's definitely tricks and ways that you always want your pay to be higher than your block. At least that's the way I look at it, is I want to work less but get paid more. But again, we're not actually working less. As soon as I leave home, I'm working, right? Even though I was a passenger princess in 21A today, watching a movie, napping, I still was working, just not the definition of my job duties, I guess you can say. But that's enough. Like I said, I'm starving. I got 2 options in Miami that I usually go to. I think I'm in Coconut Grove area, nice downtown there. I either go to this place called Carrot Express, although they kind of jip you on the portions. The last captain I flew with out of Miami told me about this place called Flanagan's. He said a really good prime rib. I just looked at their menu. They said they're known for their ribs. I am running tomorrow, trying to figure out what I should do. So we'll get some dinner and the trip begins. Bailed on the ribs. I went healthy, folks. I went Carrot Express, got some chicken, veggies and rice. Expensive, but it is pretty good. One of the things I liked about the hotel that we're staying at, they normally have bicycles for us to rent and hop on and walk around town, flat tire. So not a great start to the hotel stay. That's all right, we'll get our steps in, a mile walk to the downtown area. And I passed the ice cream place I went to the last time I was here in Miami. Trust me, I really wanted to go in. We're staying healthy-ish. We'll go to the fresh market, pick up some fruit and get our breakfast for tomorrow. And maybe, just maybe, we will treat ourselves to a little sweet treat to cap the night off. Bedtime, and then tomorrow waking up early, gonna get a run in. There is an Equinox nearby. I have a membership too that will help, but deadhead to Miami. I always question myself if I should come here earlier, especially New York now, fall weather, Miami 80 degrees. It's like, why not come down a couple days early and enjoy? But been traveling a lot, so we decided just to come in the night before per our schedule. Just do one night here, and tomorrow afternoon we'll be off to Bogota. 2 new things we're gonna be doing each Sunday vlog from here moving forward. I'm always trying to think of more ideas to keep everything interesting, not only for you guys, but for me, to keep my enthusiasm and enjoyment in making these videos. I'm going to answer at least one question from the last video in the comment section, which I do always typing them out. If you guys have ever left a comment, you know I've read it and have responded, but I'll do a little bit longer format on these videos. Second is I'm always gonna try to get at least one guest on the video, whether it's a pilot I fly with, someone that I work with, or just completely random stranger. I think it's just more fun to involve more people in videos. You know, especially on my layovers, I'm usually pretty in my zone, in my lane, doing my thing. Especially going to other countries will help me get out of my comfort zone a little bit. Just go up to random people and ask them some questions. So you can look forward to those 2 things. It'll keep me honest, but the first one will be answering a comment from the last video, and it was, have I ever been in a personal or professional emergency when it comes to flying? And the answer to that question is yes. Twice I would call it an emergency. I did a whole video on it way back in my YouTube days, posting videos. I had an emergency on the MD-80 that I used to fly for my old airline. I was a captain on that airplane flying to Reno, and we lost all of our electrical equipment. Luckily, it was a VMC day, meaning I could see outside. The airport was 20, 30 miles away, and we landed safely, no issues. But it was definitely an emergency because we had no real navigation equipment or ways to navigate based on our primary instruments. We had to use our backups. Plus, we use ATC to kind of help us navigate to where we needed to go. And then I flew the Hawker jet before any airline flying. I was a co-pilot, and we lost pressurization leaving Eagle, Colorado. The mast dropped, and we had to divert into Denver because we had a pressurization issue. So those are my big 2 emergencies that I dealt with. I put them in quotes because it wasn't really that crazy. You know, you follow the procedures, you do what you're trained for, and it becomes a non-event, and that was kind of that. Question out of the way. Now we'll look for that random person or that +1 to get on the video somewhere. Good morning, beautiful people. From beautiful, bright and sunny Miami, Florida. Sun is up, palm trees are out. We're feeling good, woke up, did some stretches, did our morning scripture read on our balcony of our hotel, and now you already know it's non-negotiable. Morning miles, I got about 7 on the training plan today. A little bit of interval work. Posted a story on my Instagram, but not everyone saw it. Obviously, getting asked a lot about my Chicago Marathon. Unfortunately, I couldn't do it. The knee just didn't hold up. I've been rehabbing like crazy, hoping I would be able to do it. Just couldn't put in 26 miles that day, so had to roll it over till next year. It is what it is. Totally bummed about it, but such is life. I had basically, in my eyes, 1 marathon to do, and I didn't want to miss New York City with Sonia because I promised her I'd run it with her. So here we are, still rehabbing, but like I said, the knee's holding up good enough to do a few miles today. We'll get our run in before our flight down to Colombia. Probably won't have time to grab lunch, but that's all right because it's catered international. Although the times I've flown out of Miami, catered international was kind of sus to say the least. But excited to get a run in the beautiful weather. Tarps are off. New York City, it's like 50 degrees today. Got to be 80 here in Miami. Let's get after it. Careful what you wish for, folks. 3 miles in, I'm freaking gassed doing these sprints. It's so hot. I'm not used to it. Woo! Halfway through though, keep pushing. I do love this running path though. It's like my 3rd or 4th time using it. The Underline, I think it's called. Just a huge path for running, riding your bike, walking your dog. below the train tracks next to the cars there. Just nice to be able to let loose and not have to worry about any traffic. Woo! This is a scorcher though. Finish strong, let's go. 7 miles done. Stopped and ended at a Sweet Green, so perfect little place to stop, get some lunch. About a mile walk back to my hotel. Eat this, shower, get ready for our flight. Oh, and yes, I did walk into the Sweet Green without a shirt. If that bothers you, I'm sorry. You can unsubscribe now. It ain't the first time I did it. It ain't the last. Sun is good for you folks. Beautiful day. I love these kind of afternoon departures because as long as you wake up decently early, you at least get a kind of a half day in. For me, that's going for a run or getting a workout in. Proper food. I'll get to stretch a little bit, relax, and then be on our way.
A few moments later.
Well, folks, update. It is currently 12:46 p.m. My pickup was scheduled for 12:08 p.m. Still in my hotel room, as you can tell. And that's because the ground transportation got all screwed up. So the captain's staying in a different hotel. He's halfway through his pairing. A pairing is just like your entire trip. He's been back and forth from Bogota, Medellin all week. This is his last time going down there and coming back. They broke the trip up for the FOs for whatever reason. Don't ask me. This trip for me, like I said, just the 3-day pairing. But anyway, he's at a different hotel. I'm at a different hotel. They picked him up, but haven't picked me up yet. So I was obviously give the driver like 5-10 minutes. Then I called the company. They said they didn't have anything on the schedule. So I called my company. They said it was screwed up because of the mixed matching of hotels, which is not really common, but it does happen. I've said this before in other vlogs, but when you're an airline pilot, you become everyone else's customer. What I mean by that is like if the hotel room isn't ready for check-in, you're just a customer waiting for a hotel room. You can't get to the airport on your own. You're waiting for a driver to pick you up and drive you. You can't even freaking push back the airplane when you're ready to go because you're waiting for them to load it or you're waiting for the pushback crew. You can't taxi without air traffic control saying you're allowed to taxi. So you're always waiting on something. It is what it is. Obviously, I don't let it fluster me. We're going to be late leaving Miami, but no fault of my own. Obviously, scheduling and everyone's in the know. I just asked the hotel for my room key back and said, hey, if the room's not cleaned yet, do you mind if I go back? Because I got about 20 minutes before the ride gets here. So I just pulled the flight plan because when we get there, it's going to be kind of fast paced, faster moving. So here's a look at it. We're going Miami, 3.5 hours over Cuba, and then down to South America into the country of Colombia. That is Bogota. And our alternate airport, since we're flying international, even though the weather's good, is Panama City. So basically how it works for alternate airports is we have enough fuel to go from Miami down to Bogota, shoot the approach, and then shoot over to Panama and still land with enough reserve fuel, about 45 minutes worth. So overall, plenty of gas. And flight looks good, not much weather. Not sure whose flight it's gonna be, probably the captain's. Since it'll be our first time flying together, we'll go over the briefing, we'll talk about the flight plan. 90% of the time, captains take the first leg just out of, I don't wanna say out of tradition, just this is how it is. Although he has been flying this route all week, maybe he might say, hey, you know what? I've taken the last 2 times to Bogota, you take it. But again, we'll just have to wait and see. Life of an airline pilot, sometimes you just gotta sit and wait, and we'll get to Miami eventually, and then we'll be in Bogota eventually after that. Finally made it to the Miami ramp after a long delay waiting for ground transportation. Pre-flight's all done, the 767. Captain's letting me fly, so it'll be 3 hours and 30 minutes down to Bogota, Colombia. My leg, let's go fly. right, we just landed Bogota, Colombia. Flight's all closed out. My landing. Oh boy, was it a good one. I'll have to wait for the score though once we get to our hotel. Hola, ¿cómo estás? From the hotel in Bogota, Colombia. We made it. Everyone's gonna want to know. You're waiting on bated breath. First landing in a while. I'm trying to think, my last trip was the beginning of the month with Dublin, and I didn't fly that leg. So before that, my last landing was in Quito, Ecuador in late September, I guess. So yeah, it's probably been about a month. I've noticed when you haven't had that many practices, I guess, for lack of a better term, sometimes that can be your best one. But enough stalling. Landed 1-4 right. I'll debrief the flight in a little bit. We're gonna go with a 9.7 out of 10 landing. It was butter, great approach, speeds were on, stable, a little bit of crosswind from right to left. We touched down nice and easy on the right main first, smooth, gentle, no one in the back was screaming. It was a thing of beauty, folks. I wish you could have been there to see it. So I'll go with a 9.7, and it's only 5:20 local time here in Bogota, so sun's still up. It just rained not too long ago. It's a little chilly. It's like 55 degrees Fahrenheit, so we'll change out of the pilot uniform, do a quick little debrief, and then time for dinner. So we finally arrived at Miami Airport. I was, like I said, over an hour and a half late. It wasn't me, it was the mix-up with the ground transportation. Everyone's really cool though. My biggest advice for those, just in general, but especially in aviation, it's all gonna be okay. It all works out, right? Like, I've flown with so many guys and girls that stress, oh my God, where's this, where's that? Like, there's nothing that we can control. Like, it is what it is. So deep breath, let it happen. I'm not always like this, but it's something as I get older in age, I try to do more and more. So finally landed in Miami, or got to Miami. Captain was waiting for me, and he said right off the jump, which I thought was really cool and I appreciate it. He's like, look, we're not gonna rush. We're supposed to have an hour. If we need it, we'll take it. It didn't obviously take us an hour to pre-flight, get everything ready, flight plan, all this good stuff. But either way, it was nice knowing that, hey, I don't have to rush my duties because ground transportation screwed up. But either way, here was our flight out of Miami, pretty standard, push back onto Kilo, and they gave us 8 left for departure, but we ran the performance numbers for 8 right. So we departed off of 8 right. It was my leg, like I said, and we flew this SID, which is just a VNAV SID, and you're just following the points, turning the autopilot around 13,000 feet. And then we're on our way down. I had fibbed to you guys though. I said it was gonna be nice weather. Well, that's because Jep wasn't showing the freaking tropical storm. Her name is Melissa. It's not really showing up on my radar either, but we briefed that. It was very low altitudes. There actually wasn't anything huge. There it is right there. Our route of flight was pretty much just like this. So this wasn't really an issue, but these pop-up storms around Jamaica and such, we had to deviate left and right a little bit around, nothing too bad. And then coming into Bogota, same thing, a little bit of deviation here and there. And then it was my leg to fly the arrival into Bogota. The special thing about the arrival here is just these high mountains, high terrain, and they keep you high to avoid these mountains and the speeds that are changing. You can tell there's a lot going on this chart, but all they really do is fly you from this point to this point to this point, and then direct to the approach fix AMS for the ILS to 1-4 right, and the runways are super long here. We landed 1-4 right, 12,400 feet long, and exited at Kilo 6, and like I said, a beautiful touchdown, 9.7 out of 10. Flying into Bogota's done it probably like 6 or 7 times now. Language barrier, even though they speak English, definitely the biggest threat. There was some weather. We did have to fly the hard ILS, meaning I couldn't see the airport until about like 1,500 feet above the ground, and the high elevation. So the elevation here at Bogota, when you land on the runway, is 8,300 feet. Airport elevation, 8,300 feet. So what that means is normally in the US, you're landing at airports with the field elevation at about sea level, like 100 feet, 200 feet. So the airplane operates a lot better the lower you are. So at 8,000 feet, even though we're touching down, the airplane engines, flight controls, they act as if they were 8,000 feet in the air. So everything's a lot less responsive, a lot more input is required to turn, to descend, all that good stuff. And then the acceleration of the engines takes a lot longer. So to slow the airplane down, as I'm coming down the glide slope, same thing. I had to make sure the flaps were coming down a little bit quicker, or sooner, I should say, the gear than I'm normally used to. But it all worked out. great flight. And yeah, now I got 33 hours here in Bogota. Captain's real nice, real cool. He's also a runner. I think he'll say yes to being on the vlog. I think we're gonna grab dinner. I invited him. I'm going to a steakhouse that's 40 minutes away, but I'm starving. And when in Bogota, right? I want to try places that I won't be coming back to. I'm pretty sure I've been to this place when I was here a year or so ago, and it was freaking delicious. So I said, why not again? But yeah, Ubers are super cheap here. The price of the USD dollar goes further here. So 33 hours, we got tonight and then all day tomorrow. We'll just get after it and explore Bogota a little bit. All right, Ixnay on the steakhouse, over an hour and 15-minute drive because of traffic. So we're hungry, we're not doing that. Auto bowling to an Asian fusion place called Republic. Everything that ChatGPT keeps telling me is don't go out at night, be careful, get a taxi. It's nighttime now. I got the flash on my camera, 6'4" gringo talking gringo. Probably a little bit of a target on my back, but that's why we work out, folks, right? To keep the bad guys at bay. Not too far from the hotel. Skipping the McDonald's tonight. Skipping the McDonald's tonight. Skipping the McDonald's. All right, dinner was subpar at best. The one thing that will never be subpar is McDonald's dessert. I shouldn't do it, but I'm gonna do it. I ran 7 miles today and I don't wanna be here. I wanna be home. So this is gonna make me feel a little bit more like home. We'll get a ice cream at McDonald's to cap off our night. Didn't want to do it, but did it anyway. Bedtime. Top of the morning to you folks. 8:30 in the morning local here in Bogota, Colombia. Woke up doing my normal routine, which is read about 30 minutes of the Bible. And I did some stretching. And I'm doing something I've never done, ever, I don't think in my entire life. I'm fasting for at least 24 hours is the plan. Why? I'm not really sure. Probably some deep dive and scrolling on TikTok and Instagram, talking about how all the bad cells in your body, you don't fast or just have all these diseases in them. So I'm gonna try it out. We're a couple hours in because that last meal was that awful McFlurry. Didn't want to do it, but did it anyway. So we'll see how it goes. Wish me luck. If you have any experience or any actual facts or data or things that you want to share about fasting, since I have zero idea about any of it, let me know below so I can see if it's something I'm gonna do more often. Right now we're getting our steps in. We're getting a little fresh air. It's supposed to rain later. Bogota is out and about. They're hammering their bands. We love to see it even in Bogota. This is gonna rain later. I figured get outside now. I'll hit the gym a little bit later today, but it's in like a dark cellar in the basement of the hotel. So sunshine, fresh air, fasting. See how I do, folks. Wish me luck on this one. No idea. I'm already starving, but we're gonna try to power through it and see if we can do it. There's this little park near the hotel that I have been to a few times. Got a little running track, as you can see. Some tennis courts, roller rink. People are out and about. Little outdoor equipment. So perfect place to come walk and chill, relax, get a little workout in. I love the people of Bogota are getting after it on this Thursday morning. We love to see it. Update on the fast. We're currently at 10 a.m. local. Still feeling good, not too out of it. And now we're at the gym. Non-negotiable, folks. Getting that training in. Here's a look at the gym itself. Kind of dark, dungeony, like I said. But today was just a cardio day anyway. I'll do the light shoulders and arms after we get done with an hour on here. I'm gonna be interested to see how I feel though after the workout. No food, no protein shake, but power through and hopefully don't pass out. I got 2 mortgages, 30 million in total. I got niggas that still try to fuck me over. I got rap niggas that I gotta act like I like, but my action days are over. Update, worked out for like 2 hours, took my time. It's currently 3:30. Fast is still going strong. I'll hit little tidbits of starvation and hunger, but like 5 minutes of just not thinking about it goes away. So that's good. It's raining in Bogota. We've been pretty much locked in our room, just doing some what I call admin work, answering emails, depending on when you started following me or if you watch my short form content on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. I have a series called Ask Pilot Pete, no dumb questions. So I just threw the uniform on, stuck my phone up there on the glass, and the people across the street probably like, what the heck's going on? And I just talked to myself for the last hour filming content for that. And 2 people ordered airport maps, so thank you for those orders. We just got those made and they'll be getting sent out. Pretty much it, just chilling. Life of an airline pilot. It'll get more exciting tonight when we go to work, and obviously I'll give you guys as much behind the scenes of the flying part because that's what you're here for. And we'll have a special guest on. I know I still owe you the guest. I answered the question, but I told you one guest. I still owe you the guest. Haven't met with the captain since we split up and we checked in the hotel because we didn't go to the same place for dinner. He didn't want to go to the steakhouse that I ended up not going to because the traffic was too bad anyway. But either way, we'll ask him if he wants to be on the vlog later on tonight. And how it works for international. The international catering is ordered. So the fast will end eventually, but it'll be at least 24 hours, hopefully. And then wake up call. So that phone will ring an hour prior to my ground transportation having to pick me up. So that's the nice thing about international flying. You don't have to set an alarm, especially for these late night departures, early morning departures, however you want to look at it. I'm just gonna go to bed around 6 is my hope. I'm not tired really at all, but go to bed around 6, not set an alarm. And then our ground transportation is supposed to pick us up at 12:10 a.m. Friday. That phone will ring at 11:10 p.m. Thursday. They'll tell us that everything's on time. If it's not on time, they won't call us till that hour prior. That's the reason to let you sleep and kind of do your own thing. But yeah, just chilling. Sorry for the boring layover, but that's just how it is sometimes. Almost 6 p.m. local here in Bogota. Sun has set. The drums are out. Thursday night, they're getting crazy. Can hear all this music going on. I'm not sure what it is. The fast is going well. We're not going to eat dinner. We're going to actually close up shop and get ready for bedtime, get ready for that alert call. I think eating is overrated. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still going to stuff my face when I'm back in the city with steak and all the good foods, but that was easy. I mean, 24 hours is easy money. See if there's any benefits though. We'll wait and see, but bedtime, alert call, and then I'll see you guys on the ramp in Bogota. Well, this is no fun. Currently changed my room because that music is actually coming from one of the hotel restaurants and it's freaking blasting. Zero chance I'm gonna get any shut-eye, so I called the front desk and they apologized. I mean, not their fault, but just ridiculous trying to sleep. So they changed rooms. I can kind of hear a little bit from here, but definitely not as bad. But having to pack up everything, put clothes on, move rooms now just to kind of unpack fully, but I still have to get my toiletry bag out, get my uniforms back up from the suitcase, hung up, just a little bit of a nuisance. This won't be the first or last time it ever happens to me. Just par for the course, I guess. Hopefully get some shut-eye, and my get out of jail free card is worst case scenario, I call out fatigue. So if I don't get any sleep, that's what I'll be doing, but I'm hoping that the new room works and I'm able to get a couple hours of sleep. Hello, this is Peter. Pick up 1 hour, thank you. Bye-bye. Good morning, 12:03 a.m. Alert call just went off. Set my alarm for like 30 minutes later because I didn't really have much to rush to get up. I was already packed and ready to go. Pouring rain here in Bogota right now, so hopefully, fingers crossed, that rain stops for the walk around. Otherwise, I'll be soaking wet. We got a long, I call it a night, long night ahead of us. Medellin's our first leg. That'll be the captain flying. And then Medellin to Miami will probably be my leg if we stick with the status quo and the trip ends in Miami. But again, this is like the worst part of the Miami, Bogota, Medellin kind of layover trips. This is the captain's second time doing this rotation, this exact pairing. For me, it's my first, but it doesn't matter how early you go to bed. Like I said, I laid down at 6, had to change rooms at 6:45 because of the noise. Couldn't really fall right asleep, so probably only got an hour and a half, 2 hours of actual shut-eye before that alarm went off. So yeah, I feel fine now, but that second leg, Medellin to Miami, is definitely the struggle bus one. Fast is still going on, so I accomplished the 24 plus hours, and I'm not hungry at all. So we'll see how long that lasts, and we'll get to Medellin. First things first, and we'll be on our way. is very much raining here in Bogota. Just did our 767 free flight. Only got 30 minutes en route, but I'm getting out of the rain, and hopefully Medellin's a little drier than this. All right, we got out of the rain. We're safely in the confines of the flight deck, all set to go. Just waiting on our final load, weight and balance, and cargo to be loaded. Here's gonna be our taxi route. They're departing runway 32 right, so we'll get pushed back out of here. Long taxi to 32 right, and it can even be longer sometimes because the approach is coming into Bogota at this time of night, coming to 14 left. So they do opposite direction takeoff and landing, which can lead to a longer delay for takeoff. And then here's our instrument departure procedure. Pretty standard from the US, just a bunch of waypoints and fixes, at or aboves. And the big kind of threat per se for this flight is the engine out procedure because of all the terrain around Bogota. It's nighttime, we obviously can't see anything. So there's a pretty strict engine out procedure. If we, heaven forbid, we did lose an engine after takeoff, it's a little bit of a right turn. We hit 4.8 off the DME, a left turn back towards the airport, and we kind of follow this valley out and avoid all these mountains. Like I said, super short flight to Medellin. I'll be pilot monitoring, 30 minutes en route. Next stop, Medellin. All right, folks, we just landed in Medellin. Good flight, super quick flight. I told you I have a special guest though. When we landed, we got Mr. Mauricio here, always taking care of us. I have to ask though, Bogota, I spent a good amount of time, not my favorite. You're a local here, Medellin. What is the best part of the city here, and what do people want to go visit and eat and see when they come to Medellin?
In the city, you can go into the malls, to the Cerro Notibara, to see a little traditional town.
Okay.
In Antioquia.
Okay.
The museums, they are so good too.
Okay.
Many places to go into Medellin.
There's a lot of people from the US that watch this. Is Medellin worth a trip, do you think, for them to come down to South America?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's a fun Spanish word you can teach our audience?
Cubo pues.
Cubo pez?
Cubo pues.
Which means what?
What's up?
What's up? Cubo pez. Mauricio, always a pleasure. Thank you, my friend.
No problem.
All right, just pre-flight the 767. We got nonstop service to Miami, Florida. It'll be my leg, 3 hours and 35 minutes. We cleared customs here to leave the country of Colombia. Never seen so many cones though in my life. Maybe Mauricio,
What's up?
when you watch this back, you can let me know why there's so many freaking cones. Hannah's the plane. Next stop, Miami. Let's go fly. All right, almost all ready to go here in Bogota. Like I said, it'll be my leg, 3.5 hours. There's our route of flight. Going up to 32,000 feet, but our departure has us up at 240. And our distance to get to Miami, 12:57. Currently 4:16 in the morning. Definitely ready to get down to Miami and be done with the trip. But 3.5 hours should be a good ride. Can't see it here on the jet, but that tropical storm Melissa is right here right now, so it shouldn't affect us. But otherwise, 3 hours 30 minutes. See you in Miami. We cleared customs in Miami. Now we're at the Muggle terminal. Got through security, gonna change out of this monkey uniform. We got about an hour before our flight to Newark. Everything's working out, and I'll debrief the flight here in a minute, but had a couple, not interesting, but not typical occurrences. But you gotta also remember, I've been up for frickin', I don't even know how long at this point. It's been a while, but I'm happy to get home. It's a beautiful day in Miami, but looking forward to getting back to New York. So the flight from Bogota to Medellin, we were over 40 minutes late because actually I'm at the airport. I can kind of give you an actual real life example. So basically, say we were that airplane right over there. We pushed back another airplane pushed back out of here and was kind of blocking us from getting out. Well, we can't move if that airplane's not moving. So that's exactly what we sat there for like 15 minutes. Finally, they got that airplane moving, which allowed us to taxi. That taxi to that runway is just 15 minutes on its own. Finally got to the runway, took off like 30 minutes or so just on the ground after we pushed back waiting. Flight to Medellin was good, and it was my leg to do the last one, Medellin to Miami, and this is where it kind of differed. 11,000 foot runway out of Medellin, 11,286 feet. We took off runway 19. We had to do with air conditioning off. So in the airline industry, we call it packs off takeoff. For muggles, it would just be known as the air conditioning being off. It's perfectly safe, but what happens is the engine uses air to supply the air conditioning unit. Well, we needed all available power on the engines because we were so heavy. We had over like 123,000 pounds of flowers. That's what Medellin's biggest export is, at least on our company, is freaking flowers, with pallets and pallets and containers of just freaking flowers that weighed over 123,000 pounds. So super heavy. Our takeoff roll was like over 8,000 feet, lifted off, made a left turn, and got out of there. Flew right near that tropical storm, Melissa. I think it might be in a hurricane now, but it was a pretty smooth ride. We got to see it. It was just off of our right window. Sun was rising, as you guys got to see while we were passing over Cuba. And then the arrival into Miami was a cluster. Miami is a freaking cluster. There's so many runways, so many airplanes taking off and landing. But the reason it became a cluster was they closed runway 9 due to FOD, foreign object debris on the runway. So all these airplanes had to go around, come back. We were freaking like 30 miles away from the airport over here, and they slowed us down to like 190 knots. So we had to go slow to make spacing, and then they cleared us for the visual to runway 9. We backed it up with the ILS. Interesting thing about this approach is note number 5 right there. It says autopilot coupled approach not authorized. So that means when you're flying this approach, you have to hand fly it, which is abnormal. Normally you can use the autopilot all the way to pretty much down to the runway, but on this particular approach you can't. So as my landing, autopilot off, auto throttles off, heavy. Our approach speed was like 150 knots, which is about 165 miles an hour. Touchdown pretty good. Rating wasn't my best for the lack thereof sleep that I've received. I'll give myself a little bit of grace, but we don't finagle the scores based on outside factors. It's just the landing. 7.9 out of 10, and then exited the runway, and it's a long taxi from over here to all the way over here, but we did it, we made it safely, and the flight ended. But yeah, overall, great trip, great captain, a super nice guy. He checked out my video or two on the layover. He said he likes them, so maybe him and I will get paired up for a South America long one to Buenos Aires or Quito and go paragliding or something. Maybe I'll be able to convince him on that. I did the two things. I answered a question, and I got someone else on the vlog. Mauricio was kind enough to say yes. The marathon's coming up, so one of the videos soon will be SJ and I running the marathon. I'm gonna vlog the whole thing, pace her to an epic finish. Oh, last thing, we actually got more pay on this trip because our scheduled layover, once we landed here in Miami before the deadhead, was 12 and a half hours. They're required to give us at least 12 hours from an international flight before they put us on a deadhead flight. It's required in our contract. Since our delay out of Bogota and our delay out of Medellin, we got to Miami late, blocked in late. Our layover was less than 12 hours. That means they have to change our deadhead flight, which they did, and that gives us a little bit more pay. So the captain and I weren't too mad about that. Sometimes, you know, being late, there's parameters built in so that we're compensated for our time, because obviously we're gonna all get home later and we're more tired and work later into the day than we anticipated. But oh, by the way, it's 10 a.m. local. I guess that's 9 a.m. Bogota time. It's 37 hours into this fast, and I'm still feeling good. Maybe I'll pass out on the flight though, and hopefully not, fingers crossed. That's enough blabbering. I am freaking tired. I got a couple hours till my flight, so just relaxing until I gotta put the collared shirt on and jump on my deadhead back to New York. But as always, I hope you enjoyed coming along for the video, enjoyed a little bit of Bogota, even though I didn't do too much. Got to see some behind the scenes. Drop your comments below, hit me up on Instagram if you have any questions, and yeah, love you guys. Till the next one, see ya.